Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm Steven Silver, character designer and teacher, dedicated to helping you learn about the art industry and living up to your potential. Whippy! All right, so welcome, and today I wanted to just talk about that it's okay to be selfish, okay? Our whole life we've been saying, don't be selfish, and in this constant, what does that mean, don't be selfish? That I'm not adhering to what you want, so to speak, right? And this becomes this thing of, what you're trying to work on all the time is yourself. And it's almost like just being super honest about it. It's not that you being selfish. I don't care about other people. I don't give a rat's ass about other people. That's not what it is. But I think that's this perception. When you've been told that you're selfish, it means that you just don't give a rat's ass. That all you care about is yourself. You don't care about anyone else. And the reality is, you should care about yourself, and you should care about yourself a damn lot. You should. Because if you're honest with yourself, you know that all throughout your life, you're just sort of seeking things like, and I just kind of like wrote them down here. How does what you're offering maybe someone help me out? How does what you're doing or saying impact my life? How does what you're saying or what you're offering get me where I want to be? And this is like this constant thing that you within yourself doing, right? So when you're going to a convention or you're meeting someone or you're whatever it may be, or you're purchasing something, even as simple as that, I'm purchasing this drill because it's going to help me screw that nail into the wall a lot quicker without having to screw it with my hand. I mean, we're always doing things to help ourselves in a way. And yeah, there's going to be people around us that are going to be the benefit of that. So if we help ourselves, we're able to help other people around us. If again, you name it, whatever you're doing. I mean, just think about that. So being told that, you're selfish is not this horrible thing that I think we've might be written in the dictionary even. I think that the idea too behind it is that if you're being selfish, and the reason I'm saying this again, here I go again, I'm skipping all over the place, but I think about it. So right now I have this exhibition that I'm doing. It's a gallery through Fullerton College, which is going to be running. So if any of you guys live in Los Angeles, it's going to be at Fullerton College at the Art Gallery from March 7th to I think April 2nd or 3rd. And I'll be there for the opening reception on March 19th. And that's going to be from 5 till 7. But I'm doing what's called artist residency. So I'm going to go there for a week, and I'm basically going to live there for a week, and they're going to give me a classroom, and I get to just do whatever I want each day, and the students are going to come in and out and ask me questions and all that, and it's going to be awesome. But part of it is they wanted me to put up an exhibition. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to put up this gallery. I want to really showcase my journey. I want to show the evolution, and that's the name of it. It's about the evolution of what I've experienced, what I've gone through, and why I come into this whole selfishness thing. And why it sort of ties in with this is because as I'm putting up all my stuff and I'm showing some, drawings I had when I was like 6 years old, my high school drawings, how I was drawing in high school, as I started to think I wanted to be a painter, as I started to want to do this. As an artist, all we can ever do is work on ourselves. And it's the most important thing that you can do is work on yourself and be true to yourself and ask these questions. So throughout my journeys, I'm posting up all this stuff. I'm showing this face, I'm showing this. I got all my caricature days and my studies and just my horrible stuff because I want to show, number one, that this is all an evolution. That where you are right now, you have to have that selfish. You got to be thinking of self in order to put yourself out there. Again, it's like put your, I think about it, it's like you're throwing yourself, myself, all these, it's all about self. So why do we coddle this thing and say, it's so selfish of you to go and run off and study right now and work on your craft? What about me? I think we should go here. I've talked about this too in art talks, especially for creative people. So especially in relationships and early relationships and young budding relationships, that you're going to find that you're going to come across people who don't necessarily feel that you should be doing everything you're doing because it's what about me? Why are you studying? I want you to take me to the movie. Or I want us to go to dinner, or whatever it may be. And there's got to be that that real balance between there. But what you're trying to do is work and build upon yourself. And I went through that on my journey. I remember when I was younger, just going through those relationships of just like, you're so selfish, it's like, what the fuck, man? I'm just trying to, I need to study, or I'm going, I want to go figure drawing, I want to do something else. So again, these are important things and not something to feel so guilty about, at the end. But again, being honest, because all you're sort of wanting is, you want to know how you're going to get ahead. What's going to help your career? How is my career going to benefit from this? And as I was posting up my journey, and I'm going through all these phases and my early development work and early stuff from the studios and building around and going through this phase. And as I was putting it up, I was seeing all this stuff again and going, wow, it was taking me on this journey myself and going, holy moly, man, what did I go through? What have I gone through as an artist, and just trying, the struggles and for myself. Why was I struggling? Because I was upset with myself. I was suffering myself. I was struggling to draw a hand. I was struggling to draw clothing. I was struggling to draw the human figure. I was struggling. But just because I was struggling doesn't mean that I was stuck in the mud and I was wearing tattered clothes and I was living in a tent. That's not the sort of struggle that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the never-ending struggle of wanting to improve oneself, and it's a selfish act and that's okay. That's what you have to do. You don't have to keep pleasing everyone. And this is the thing, and this is where people, I think, sometimes lose focus in life of what they even want to do in their life, because it's about, I feel like I got to please everyone and take care of everyone else. And again, as a grown man and for myself and a family man, you take responsibility. This is a part of just being a human. You got to be responsible. I mean, I got to put, food on the table. I got to provide shelter. I got to do these things. But like I said, by you taking on this selfless act and selfish act of you wanting to improve upon yourself is going to require that sacrifice that eventually will help everyone in the long run. And that's I think that's the whole thing that we're really sort of aiming for. So there's always going to be a benefit. It trickles. There's a connection. And that's the most important thing to really think about. It's like, it's connecting the dots. There's always whatever action you take is going to trickle down. It's going to help. Every little bit that happens helps in some form, in some place, someone else along the way. That's the way it goes. So even though you might think that this thing isn't helping me right now, and it's not affecting me right now, and I don't see the change for me, well, maybe look beyond that and start to see, like, maybe there is, in certain ways, maybe you're getting the benefit of something that you didn't even think about so much, and that could be, I don't know, a place to stay. It was an effect. Everything's a cause and effect. So through you having this, and what I want to say is, like, eventually, and again, as my mind just sort of opening up and stuff right now and just kind of talking about it, as I was trying to help myself all these years, why was I studying other artists? Well, because I was trying to, selfishly help myself grow. I wanted to grow. I wanted to be better. I want to improve. I need these things. So for yourself, I think what you have to, what you have to realize is that, where am I going with this? is that there's going to be a lot of the sort of things, struggles you're going to face are going to be because you're going to feel guilty within yourself that you're doing sometimes more for you when you shouldn't be. Okay, that's sort of like the point here. But as now I'm going back to where my mind was rambling. As I was going through my journey and putting all this stuff up and knowing what I went through, I realized something that I stopped kind of growing. I've stopped having the true want and desire to keep learning new stuff. And I'm being open and honest with you here. I just, the need for myself anymore, it's like, this is where the switch has changed. It's like, I no longer feel like I need to serve myself. And you should feel like you need to serve yourself when you're growing, when you're getting into this game. Eventually, the goal and desire is through timing that you're going to get to where you want to be. And I feel like I've stopped really trying, and I know that because I'm like trying to learn, like there's things like I think about, like, man, I would love to get better at, I've never been a painter, you know, I've dabbled in it, but I've never done, I don't find pleasure in really rendering and finishing and coloring my illustrations. I just don't. It's almost like becomes like a boring act for me. It just is. And I realize that about myself, but then I go, yeah, but I need to. How great would that be to be able to provide that for the client, this whole color variation, and really render the hell out of it and do something like that? How great would that be able to provide that for the client? I got to turn off my air conditioning. So I thought, well, maybe I should learn how to do that and study and take some awesome classes on schoolism because there's the great teachers there and learn from these guys. And I go, but I don't really want to. I don't really want to. Oh, how cool would it be to be able to build my own CG mold, take my own character and make a 3D rendering? I should learn that. I should grow. I should expand. Dang, but I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I just don't feel it. And so you get caught between these areas going, yeah, that would be cool, but... So then you can say, well, hey, man, are you lacking in motivation? Is that what that means? Does that mean that you're a failure? Does it mean that you're not improving? Does it mean that you're not doing things for yourself? And I question that. And I think the reality is, I don't know. No, I think that you're just going to go through. Things are going to happen. You're going to... Sometimes if you try too hard, and I've said this before, I think if you're forcing it, and I think you can only do that because you're truly going through that hard struggle, that you've really faced yourself and said to yourself, I need to do this, man, so bad, and it's driving you crazy, and it's in your head because our mind doesn't stop ever going. Your mind's never going to stop. Your mind's always going to be playing tricks on you. Your mind's always going to be that constant chatter. Okay, it's always going to be there. I don't care if you're 18 right now, if you're 25, if you're 30, if you're 40, if you're 47. I'm not 60 yet. I'm not 65, but talking to older people all the time, it seems it just doesn't end. It doesn't stop, okay? So that we can eliminate that, knowing that that's going to be the thing. Okay, I had to pause. Now I'm back because that was a little bit of a break. Because my mind was just going so strongly in one direction that all of a sudden I got deterred again and came back. And I've dealt with this my whole life. This is why I struggled in school, why I feel I have to work harder at times, you know, with drawing. But as I was going through this journey again, what I just kind of want to get back to is that the learning phase for me has stopped in this sort of growth pattern for that. But what I'm finding my interest, so what I want to get into, my interest has started to go so much towards just trying to figure things out, philosophy. So my interest and this is where my growth pattern is now. My growth is not about trying to learn about art anymore, learn about anatomy, learn about color, learn about 3D, doing all this stuff. My growth pattern is now, all I want to learn is I just kind of want to keep growing, learn of other people's stories, learn about the universe, learn about all these things, and be able to share my knowledge now with what I've learned to you guys. That's where I'm at. And that's part of just acceptance. And that's what you'll eventually come to. You know, you're going to get drawn to these areas. Why do I want to keep picking up books? Why do I want to keep teaching people? Why do I want to keep sharing this knowledge? Because that's where I'm at with this phase in my life. And it's part of acceptance of that and coming to that. But just knowing that you're going to have to, it's so much again of this, just this trusting in yourself and just knowing that by you, it's going to be that feeling. But just know, as I'm spinning my thoughts again, just wherever you are in your life, if you're having that specific desire that, man, I want to absolutely get into the animation industry. This is something you're holding true to and you've affirmed in your mind. This is what you want to do. Well, then just do it by all means necessary. And just start taking the action and just start doing it. And don't worry about whether you're taking too much time for yourself or whatever that action may be. Just, you're going to have to do that. Some people may never come to this phase in their life. Maybe they'll be 70 years old and still saying, I still never did what it is that I wanted to do. I still, maybe I spent so much time trying to please other people all the time that I never fulfilled an act that I wanted to do. So it's okay. So I'm going to end this now with just the idea of just like being selfish is not this horrible, terrible word, especially for a creative person. It's just not, because that's all we want to do is help ourselves. If you be honest, you just want to help yourself. You want to get yourself to the next level. And there is nothing wrong with that. That's all you're ever trying to do. Push yourself, make yourself have that better life, make yourself have more happiness, make yourself find your passion, make yourself be in better relationships, whatever it is you're trying to do. It's all for self, okay? And then the people around you are going to benefit because you're going to be the happy one, because you're going to be the one that sort of like started to understand it and understand what it's going to take, okay? That's it. Again, if you're in LA, I'd love to see you March 19th, opening Fullerton College at the Art Gallery, the evolution of my journey through a lot of selfish acts. Again, of me just spending a lot of time trying to figure stuff out, showing a lot of my bad artwork, discussing little philosophy things that I've written on. But I want you to come out of this show with the idea that you gotta, number one, work harder, because put in a little bit more time working on things for yourself, and just knowing that you don't have to be given some God-gifted talent in order to be someone or be something in life. Again, and when you look at some of my old high school cartoons, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, is just looking at that stuff. And, I'm thinking about it. I mean, it might be kind of fun to put together a whole little exhibition book with all that, for you guys who can't make it. See, this is where ideas just like, boop, 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 boop. You let your mind wander, see where it takes you, think of ideas. But just knowing that you don't have to have this talent, and man, I'm looking up here. I'm looking in front of me. In front of me right now, in front of my desk, I have Albert Dorn. I have an Albert Dorn originals. I have an Al Hirschfeld. I have some Jack Davis. I have a Thomas Fluhardy original sitting in front of me and looking at how brilliant and how amazing and how talented these guys are. And that's what we got to remember, is that there is so much more talent than you. People are better, and I guarantee you that Albert Dorn knew and believed that there was greater talents than he was, and it became a drive and pushed him, but he knew it. I can guarantee you that Al Hirschfeld knew that there were artists better than him, but he found his voice and he did what he did. And that's the point. Albert Dorn found his voice and he did what he did. Jack Davis did what he did. And quite honestly, you got to keep in mind that the peak and I don't know any artists who sustained this unless they died, was the level of their talent. Their talent, they sort of reach a peak, but you start to see some of these artists, either they stop drawing altogether because it's not there anymore. Otherwise, you start to see certain levels of their ability kind of decline a bit, and you accept that because they're getting old in age. And that's what's going to happen. You reach that peak, and you're at that peak, and all of a sudden you're going to start to come down just a little bit. So this is going to happen, all right? But so having this understanding, all these guys, Thomas Fluharty knows. I mean, this guy, he studies I don't know a lot. He studies more than any other talent that I know. When I look at Tom's work, I go, dude, what are you even studying anymore? I mean, in all honesty and the truth, I don't see how much more he can learn with what he's doing. And in his mind, he keeps seeing he can. But I'm just like, I don't know. So it's an individual thing. You're going to take that and all these guys, you know, so you're going to have, the bottom line is you're going to find your voice, and you're going to find your voice and let that be your voice. And I think maybe that's what it is with me talking out loud, is that I feel like I found my voice in my art. And if I keep trying to study certain aspects, like for me, I feel like if I kept trying to study anatomy right now, which scares the hell out of me. I've never truly studied anatomy. I mean, I don't like it. I just don't. I feel there's a stiffness to it, but I'm not gonna, I'd say when you're drawing caricature and you put that anatomy and you have that knowledge into it, it shows through and it shines through, but there's a sort of whimsy that can be taken out of it too. And I think maybe with me, I don't want to take out the whimsy within my art or just that random thing. Are you going to look at how I drew a finger and judge me because I fucked up a finger or I fucked up a foot? You know, am I going to say that about Jack Davis's work? No. Am I going to say that about Mort Drucker's work? Those guys knew anatomy, but at a certain point they stopped studying anatomy because they got the basic knowledge and everything that they needed, and now they just let themselves be them. Now they let themselves bloom and be the flower that they wanted to become. And that's where eventually you're going to get to, and that's where what you're going to sort of settle upon. Is that just blossom as you. Just be you through that. But again, you gotta... I've been all over the place this art talk. I think I'm kind of done. I should wrap it up for wrapping it up's sake. 22 minutes here. But that's it. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. To subscribe to my mailing list and stay updated on future workshops and events, please go to my contact at silvertunes.com and simply hit join mailing list. Until the next time, make it a great week, and thank you for listening.